Good morning, people. Welcome back to MUFC Realist TV. Mick Ruby here with some breaking, fresh news coming out from the press from the brilliant Adam Crafton at The Athletic, but also corroborated with Fabrizio Romano. The fanboy Sir Ratcliffe, the board Manchester United, apparently with INEOS, have now decided to cut the legendary manager Sir Alex Ferguson multi-million-pound ambassadorial contract out of Man United. What is this story all about? I want to hear your feelings. I want to hear your thoughts. We're going to go over the story, but also further there is some transfer news. The Man United are looking to eyeball 3 additional Bayern Munich transfer targets in January. Who are those people or players? Well, stick around and you'll find out. But there's one thing you should do. You know the drill. Like and subscribe as per usual. And we will be back after the jingle. Let's go. Hey ho, good morning everyone. Things are moving in the land of Man United, and how you all feeling? How do you feel to be a Man United supporter today, considering the international break is coming to an end? Me personally, I was watching the Swedish game yesterday and they played my favorite formation, which is 3 in the back, 5 in the midfield and 2 up front. And this is that I want to see Ten Hag being utilizing. No other than Sebastian Anselmino scored 2 fantastic goals in that midfield 5 and play 2 fantastic strikers in terms of Dejan Kulusevski on top together with Gokeres. And this is where I want to see an adaptation from Ten Hag, utilizing Xerxes on top together with Rasmus Højlund. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that, but of course we're getting excited because Premier League is coming back on Saturday. But there's always news coming out from the land of Manchester United, and the breaking news is apparently coming from Fabrizio Romano to say INEOS have decided to cut Sir Alex Ferguson's multi-million-pound ambassadorial contract with Manchester United. This comes from Adam Crafton, which works from Athletic, the most credible kind of independent journalism focused around sports, give you the right kind of news, dive deeps into the world of Manchester United and all the other contracts as well. But furthermore, it's also come to say that Ferguson will remain as a non-executive director at the club, still obviously welcome to attend Manchester United games. Well, guys, this, according to my opinion, is something that a lot of Man United fans has been wondering. Why now? You know, the legend that left the seat back in 2023 hasn't been speaking about the Glazers, hasn't been criticizing the ownership. And now when Sir Jim Ratcliffe bought the club, we've seen Sir Jim Ratcliffe being like a big fanboy of Sir Alex Ferguson, idolizing him and basically seeing wanting to have a lunch with him and talking about him. But 100%, why now ruthlessness? Why cut the legend out? Why cut the head out of the snake to sort of make him redundant and just be a non-executive? This is the questions we need to ask, and we're going to cover into this story. But morning to you all. Morning, Stephanie Griffith. How are you all feeling? Y'all, Malmin in the house as well. We can see, I think, in my opinion, this matter is not most popular. I'm not sure how many ambassadors the club got, but if they are paid 2.5 million, they should be removed. Well, that is a valid point, and we're going to dive into that story as well, what you're saying there. But please, guys, smash that like button. We haven't been live streaming. We're coming back from rustiness. There's over 100 of you tuning in, so if we can get up to 100 likes and your comments and engagement, this is what this fan debate is all about. Let's see, Stu is in the house as well. Big morning, good morning. Taking the man's pension, created a legacy of all on his own, was probably paid a lot less than the INEOS team altogether. That is a disgrace in your opinion. Well, there is always a mixed emotions of Sir Alex Ferguson legacy, but there's also a connotation that we are living in the past, completely being always generated and compared by the Man United of the old. I mean, we haven't won a Premier League title for 11 years since Sir Alex left with 2023. He's been sitting there in the executive board, being an ambassador. We're seeing Sir Alex Ferguson in the stand, and the poor bugger, he even suffered a stroke and still loyal to the club, But let's dive right into the story as well. Good morning to you. I can see everyone is in the house. Lou Mann is in the house. Stephanie Griffith, Rasta Stocks. That is crazy what you're saying. That is just crazy. There's a lot of opinions. I get it. It's same opinions about tearing Old Trafford down and building a new stadium. Also, there's a lot of memories, a lot of emotions. Me personally, I grew up with Sir Alex Ferguson. He's my biggest idol. In terms of management, adored, read his books. A lot of, managers, modern managers today refer to Alex Ferguson as one of the greatest. And to be treated like this, of course, sends a little bit of uproar within the fan base. Some people like Kenny saying, I'm glad that Fergie can now enjoy his happiness as a spectator. Yeah, of course, his wife passed away, and there was a reason why he left, because of his wife, and to be supportive 100%. Otherwise, it was a shock when he announced his retirement in 2023. Stephanie Griffith, what you saying here, my friend? Brian Robson, another club ambassador, 100%. Big up, Mick. Love your pony hairstyle. Yeah, and the surfy hairstyle is back. Casimir is in the house to say, good morning, guys. Even it takes time, we are getting into the right direction. And that's what I believe so too. S. Madison, big up to you. What you're saying here, United are 14th, but Ratcliffe suddenly decided to cut off Sir Alex Ferguson. Well, let's dive right into the report. Why waste around? Let's just get right into it, guys. All right, so it is what it is. And apparently this was reported out today by Crafton, but I'm reading it from One Football app. Details of face-to-face meeting between Sir Ratcliffe and Alex Ferguson at Old Trafford as Man United legend to be axed, right? So this stems down to Manchester United have axed the multi-million-pound annual commitment former manager Sir Alex Ferguson as INEOS continued the cost-cutting program, according to The Athletic. So this is more than cost-cutting than actually looking at the legend that shaped Man United, that put us into the winning trajectory. What we did, we dominating the 80s and the 90s, a little bit of the beginning of the 200th century. But Sir Jim Ratcliffe, led by INEOS, have been cutting costs and reducing the number of employments, and Man United Red Devils legend is the latest to be effective. We all seen it, we all know it, that there was over 200 jobs that got redundant at Old Trafford. Sir Jim Dodgy Dave, some people call him, Brailsford, did that strategical review by himself and say this overinflated staff. And now the axe comes to Sir Alex Ferguson, the legend. Let's continue their story. Ratcliffe and Ferguson held face-to-face meeting at Old Trafford, and the former manager was told that the club are seeking to reduce costs and are no longer prepared to sustain his payments. Wow. Ferguson was retired as a global club ambassador, or actually retained as a global club ambassador, and the club director after he retired in 2013 by the Glazers, following by 26 years in charge, and has been paid a hefty annual salary since. The former boss signed an agreement with Man United back in October 2013, becoming the global ambassador, receiving £2.16 million for his services deal, which continue for over a decade. So that is a hefty sum of money for over a decade, right? You've been receiving $2.6 million to be an ambassador and a non-executive. The former boss signed an agreement, yes. However, he will no longer be paid this hefty sum, remaining a non-executive director at Man United and continue to be allowed to attend Man United games if he chooses to. If he's choosing to. That's the bare minimum you can do for a legend. Like, imagine if they cut down the cost to say, Sir Alex, you can no longer come and stand and watch the games for free. That'd be disgraceful. But you can see the shrewdness in what they're trying to do. Do we have any money in this? Why are we cutting down the wages? Why are we cutting down the legendary ambassadors? But there is a double-edged sword that I want to touch base on as well. The matter has been dealt with internally and amicably. like a mutual agreement. But whether Ferguson will continue to regularly attend home games, away games in the director's box remains to be seen. Maybe Sir Alex Ferguson got pissed off now to say, listen, is that the gratitude that I receive? You know, I'm not going to longer get my money. Why am I going to come and stand there in the stands, right? Is this the way you're going to treat the next legend? Question mark. But on the other hand, guys, you know, you got to be critical as well. You know, I'm thinking about the Rock of Gibraltar, the horse that Sir Alex Ferguson was heavily invested in with the former managers or the owners. And if it wasn't for that bloody horse, there would never been a Glazers. So when Glazers took over, sure, him and David Gill was running the club, running the show, doing the things. But after he left in 2013, there was the big hijack of the bankers. So he received a 2.16 million for his services to be ambassador and keep quiet. So he built this dynasty and legacy of winning mentality, and all of a sudden left us without speaking. A lot of fans has been sort of criticizing him, but at the same time, you don't criticize the legend, what he's done for the club. But I certainly will not, sweep it under the carpet, because for about 18 years we've been battling the great Glazers, and since 2013, Sir Alex Ferguson never spoke out against the Glazers, receiving 2.16 million to keep quiet in a certain ways, to be the ambassador and be a non-executive. And also looking what INEOS is trying to do now, of course, this costing, of course. Maybe it's their message to say, look, we're not going to live in the past anymore. United is not the team who used to be under Sir Alex Ferguson. We haven't won anything from 11 years in terms of Premier Leagues, in terms of Champions Leagues. Instead, we're being referred always to the area of Sir Alex Ferguson and the greatness. But football has changed and evolved, and this is ruthlessness. Let me know what you think, right? Am I speaking a little bit out of context here? Are we allowed to criticize, to say, yeah, this is the right decision, right? Is it? I don't know. I'm conflicted. I'm in between a rock and a hard place, but I'm also looking at the 11 years under the Glazers that he's been pensioned and didn't speak out, right? So in a connotation that he built this dynasty, the winning club, and let it to just fall to the ground by receiving 2.16 million a year. If you calculate that, that's over almost 30 million for this time, right? Almost. But anyway, I'm not going to sort of cast the first stone. I just want to have a debate. Lost Souls is saying they need to cash to pay Man United. Rashford, Rasta Stocks is saying here, what you're saying here. I want to hear your comments and opinions. Keep it coming, guys. Without Ferguson, there wouldn't be a club, 100%. But also question, what did Ferguson do after he left? Appointed a Moyes that didn't work out, put his faith in Moyes. And since then, we have Van Gaal, we had Jose Mourinho, we had Ole, Ragnick, and now the only manager has been giving a third-year contract or tenure in Ten Hag. Of course, it wasn't easy to operate this club because we didn't have a footballing structure, but now we do. And apparently, with this new footballing structure comes changes, and they thought about, okay, we're going to do cuts, cut that past, and opening a new chapter, the new Man United, and building a new stadium. Yolim Almin is saying, you're saying what I just mentioned, 100%. Where is the ruthlessness in when you gave Bruno a new 350k contract? Well, true. We keep saying that, as soon as you receive a bumper contract, your head kind of drops. We saw that with Rashford. And are we witnessing this with Bruno Fernandes? We gave him a bumper contract, 350k a week, and he's been absolutely shocking, to be honest. Roberto Antonio, what you're saying? In my opinion, it's not about the money. Ratcliffe wants to be the new legends. Maybe he said, it's a vanity project. He's not in it for the money. He just wants to put Manchester back into the winning ways, and that is kind of building his own legacy. Stephanie Griffith, in your opinion, what you're saying, the similarities between Sir Matt Busby and Sir Alex Ferguson after retired from Man United role are uncanny. Both legends of the club, but the time to move on to create the next legend, Erik ten Hag. Lol. Yeah, like Erik ten Hag came from southern Holland, a similar situation with Sir Alex. Didn't finish great, finished 8th, and now we're sitting 14th. And we've seen the media agenda and the spin, they want him gone. But ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left, Alex Ferguson was the master of controlling the press. Nobody dared to speak against him, right? He gave them bollocks. You know, I grew up in that area. I saw him having a press conference. Nobody dared to say anything. But ever since he left, of course, he's destroyed a lot of childhood dreams because Man United was dominant. The press hated us. But ever since he's been gone, and there's a saying, when the cats is gone, the rats come out and play. And the media's been having a feast about Man United. Everything that we're doing in the transfer market, they tear us down. The bigging up of players that we're signing and they tear us down. It's been going on for far too long, 11 months. It doesn't help that Ten Hag is kind of an introverted, direct Dutch communicator, where English is not his first language. But he's been trying to nip it in the bud. The way he dealt with Cristiano Ronaldo, all the scandals, the Rashford. But in certain ways, there are some players that you don't go against, and that is Marcus Rashford, the poster boy of Man United. That would be a big sack straight away, I would say. But in a way, this is, I don't know, for me, it's kind of a little bit like, as I said, it's a double-edged sword. I grew up with Ferguson. He gave me brilliant moments. And as an old legacy fan, this is what I live by. You know, he created that standards. And the way we are watching Man United play now, it's like suffering, right? It is. But at the end of the day, we are not that team anymore. And at the end of the day, you got to recognize that the INEOS regime or the new establishment, they are trying to build a proper structure. Yes, acknowledged, tick in the box. They're trying to get rid of the deadwoods. All it's missing to get rid of Rashford or Luke Shaw. And hey, we didn't even get a left back in the summer, and correct the mistakes that the old regime has done. The situation with yesterday's news with Alvaro Fernandez being sold for peanuts to Benfica, and Alvaro Fernandez has been doing a madness in Benfica in Champions League, becoming a mature player, and a player that was voted the Championship Player of the Year award, didn't get a sniff under Erik ten Hag, speaks volumes. And here we are again, talking about potentially having Johnny Evans as a left back against Brentford on the weekend. Sends a little bit shivers to my spine. And then they're talking about potentially buying back for 16 million. That's a little bit egg-faced. But barring that, the decision was not made by the INEOS regime back then. Now they're looking at the talent under 24 and say, why did we get rid of this player? Or should they just cash in on him? Because if they do cash in, they have a buyback clause. And of course, they have a sell-on fee from Alvaro Fernandez. And apparently Liverpool or Scouser pools are in the reins, so looking to get that player. And also Real Madrid and Barcelona, but the fee will be around 42 million pounds in release clause. So Barcelona, will they pay it? Real Madrid, will they pay it? We've seen that Real Madrid always seem to be waiting for the contract to expire and come for free. But the thing is, the point is here, either way, United will win, right? If there's a 50% sell-on fee from Alvaro Fernandez, that money is pure FFP profit. Like, they might be cashing in 25, 30 million pounds for him. But at the same time, we need a left back. There's a double-edged sword in that one as well. So, guys, what are you saying? Let me see. I am tech. If I was Alex Ferguson, I wouldn't even be an associate with this shit show. Enjoy your time, Alex. Yeah, 100% rest. Listen, you bring a point, like, the same thing with, if I do a comparison what Bayern Munich did with Thomas Tuchel. First they sacked him, and then they went on the market, had 5 different interviews and got rejected, and then asked him to come back again. Would you? You know what I mean? This is the pride, isn't it? Right? Why would you come back to stand there? Of course, there's the love for the club. This is your family, right? But if all of a sudden they cut you off to say you will not get your £2 million per year, but you're welcome to stand there and stand like a statue, you know, and just look pretty for the cameras, would you do it? Or would you say, nah, screw this, right? I would say screw this, to be honest, because that's kind of the loyalty is gone. Like, you don't want me? Hey, I want to come there. Why should I go and freeze my ass off there, you know, in the rainy Manchester weather, where I can sit comfortably and drink a cup of tea, you know, sit in my living room, watch it on the telly. Anyway, Rasta Stocks, what you're saying here, my brother, instead of cutting Sir Alex Ferguson, executive physicians should have got rid of the dead wood, in your opinion. 100%. 100%. Again, what we did in the summer was unprecedented, to be honest. We got rid of 17 players and recruited 7. So where have we seen this happening before? And we saw players before under Woodward and John Murtagh and Match Judge for peanuts. We practically gave them away. And now we're talking about bringing back, you know, Angel Gomez, Alvaro Fernandez. The question is, if you've been told by the manager in the club that you are not welcome anymore, would you come back? As an agent, I would say, well, hang on a second. If Ten Hag didn't want you to play Alvaro, will he play you if you come back? As a player agent, you always look after what's best for your client. And the one thing, what you do as an agent is look at play game time. Even if we do bring back Alvaro, will he play? Big question mark. We chased a certain CDM number 6, Manuel Ugarte, for 2 months from PSG, only be utilized once. The question is, was this a club signing or was it a Ten Hag signing? If Alvaro Fernandez will be a club signing and Ten Hag will not be here next season because apparently he's got 1-year extension left, maybe the INEOS did this strategic review. Maybe they spoke to a lot of candidates because it's a contingency plan. Maybe they have somebody else in mind they think will be available in 2025. Who will that be? Nobody really knows. But ain't Thomas Tuchel, ain't Amorim, he ain't this other coach that is playing similar style of football that plays 4-4-2 possession-based football, Sebastian Hoeneß from Stuttgart. The thing is, perhaps, I'm just playing the devil's advocate, City is a sinking ship. City will be charged by 115 allegations. Maybe. There was reports to say that they might even be relegated in January. Pep Guardiola will be not managing that team. Erling Haaland and all the star players they have inserted in the contract, if City get relegated, they're free to go. So maybe Omar Barada is sitting there thinking, hang on a second, maybe I can lure over Pep Guardiola to manage Man United. Possession-based football, good coach. But will they sit well in my tongue, Pep Guardiola? Well, if I had to choose between Jurgen Klopp and Pep, I'd certainly go for another bold Pep, right? And why not snatch in Erling Haaland if that is for free? That is never going to be free anyway. No, it's just sheer speculations, whatever is going on with Man United at the moment. Because apparently, if we look at the transfer window as well, we are currently eyeballing 2 other Bayern Munich players as well. That is the reports saying. So let me bring that to the stage, but I want to just hear your opinions, what you guys are saying. And we need a left back, 100%. We need a left back and Caesar striker. Yeah, we need a striker, 100%. That is why they should go all the way in the summer window. Now, okay, let's go right into the reports. Basically, this came out earlier today that Man United keep tabs on Bayern Munich trio. Who are these trio? Well, guys, we, for some reason, have established a good relationship with Bayern over the summer. We managed to get De Ligt and Mazraoui for the price of 51 million. That's impeccable business. And then, of course, there was some minor cardiovascular issue with, Mazraoui, that he's been undergoing a little bit of a fine-tuning his valves, and he should be out for another 3 weeks. There was some reports saying that he might even be back for the Brentford game, but I don't think so, because there's certain regulations, because you don't want to see a Christian Eriksen dying on the pitch and coming back resurrection to life. But in certain ways, I'd say that Bayern Munich players kind of would work. And who are these players? Well, according to Plettenberg from Sky News, is apparently saying that Man United have Leon Goretzka, Alphonso Davies, and Leroy Sane on the radar. What's your initial thought and opinions? Leon Goretzka, brilliant midfielder, 100%. Alphonso Davies, the Canadian left back. We know we need a left back. Is he the answer? And Leroy Sane on the wing. That means if we get rid of Anthony Dos Santos. I'd say that Leroy Sane has been cooking up a storm lately. Like, I really like Leroy Sane, the way he played in the Euros, the way he plays under, Bayern Munich. But I also like Leon Goretzka as well, and Alphonso Davies. These are three quality players. Alphonso Davies, left back, should have been only Bayern target. What you're saying, right? If we get Frank as a manager, we will rate Fulham. We'll be rating Fulham. Yeah, but listen, I'm going to dive in more into this story, to be honest, right? Because at the end of the day, what does this stem into? During the summer, Manchester United completed a double deal to sign Matthias de Ligt and Nusar Mazraoui from Bayern Munich for a total 60 million euros, which is surprisingly 51 million pounds, including add-ons, right? Now, according to Sky Sports Germany, Plettenberg, Red Devils are now once again looking at players from the Bavarian club. According to the report, Leon Goretzka, Leroy Sane, Alphonso Davies are all on Manchester United radar. Under contract to 2026, Goretzka has found himself in a very difficult situation since Vincent Kompany took over as a coach, having played only 14 minutes in all competition this season. Despite Goretzka, he hasn't shown any interest in leveling the club, with the centre midfielder fighting hard for his place. Davies and Sane, meanwhile, are both out of contract at the end of the season. So they are out of the contract. We're talking about Davies and Sane. That would be a free. But according to some reports, Goretzka might be a talk for a loan move. According to Sky Sports, Bayern are in contract talks with Sane, and they have also worked his way back into full fitness from the public bone problem. The 20-year-old winger joined Bayern from Manchester United's local rivals Manchester City in 2020. Guys, would you, knowing the situation with Davies and a left back, very good left back, Canadian left back, out of contract coming summer, and Leroy Sane, would you take them for a cheap signing? Would you also take Goretzka on a loan, because he's apparently only played 14 minutes and struggling under Vincent Kompany? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. What are you saying? What are you saying? Get engaged. My personal opinion is yes, I would say Leroy Sane, although his age profile 28, mature, but anything is better than Anthony Dos Santos at the moment. The judge and jury on Anthony is out for me. He's never made it under Ten Hag. And Ten Hag, he was a Ten Hag player under Ajax. It's just not working out for some reason. He's been found out one-trick pony, likes to cut inside and do his famous curl into the left corner and doing the fidget spinning. Some people say, well, maybe we can shoehorn him to play left wing back. Perhaps. Could work. But I think the judge and jury is out there. And I think that Ten Hag is done protecting as well. So there's some reports saying that they might get rid of him in the January window. And in that case, we've been linked to Eze, another winger, and also Leroy Sane potentially. Who would you take, Leroy Sane or Eze? I go for Leroy Sane, to be honest. So much better. But at the end of the day, we don't need another winger. We need a left back, and we need a striker. 100%. Rasmus Højlund still young and raw, developing. We have the likes of Xerxes, the Z, still finding his feet under the team. And that's why I said in the beginning of the show, I would like us to play a lineup like Sweden did against Estonia yesterday. 3 in the back, 5 in the midfield, and 2 strikers. The old partnership of Cole and Yorkie, I would like to see that being Rasmus Højlund and Xerxes, where Højlund plays a little bit of the fox in the box and Xerxes play a little bit more deeper, linking up the play. Apparently that is his best attributes. Stephanie Griffith, what are you saying here? Bayern loves selling to United. They always get decent money from us. True, but they didn't. Remember, they want 50 million for De Ligt, and we got 52 for 2 Bayern defenders. We have Pig Test 11X. I'm back at the beginning of the video, but what has Sir Alex Stroke got to do with his loyalty? True, right? But the question here, like, would he be loyal still if he doesn't get paid that 2 million a year that he took since 2013? They offered him, you could still come to stand in your stand to be a play for the gallery, PR, as a non-executive board. So ask yourself the question, Pig Tests. If you've been handsomely paid for 11 years and all of a sudden they want to get rid of you and just offer you, you're welcome to stand here for free, would you do it? I don't know. Gingerbish, what you saying here, my friend? I cannot lie, I'm behind this decision. Football has moved on from Fergie area, time to modernize. And I'm kind of leaning towards your connotation there as well, right? You see, I keep telling this story. I'm a 3rd generation Man United supporter. My granddad was like a Busby babe. My dad was under, Matt Busby. My dad was also growing up on the George Best and the Busby babes and all that stuff. And I grew up with Ferguson, right? So we've all seen greatness. But ever since Sir Alex left, there's been the suffering, We cannot replicate what Sir Alex Ferguson and Busby created. But maybe it's time now to have a little bit of patience to give these Sir Jim Ratcliffe INEOS time to cook. They're just starting on ground zero at the moment. For the first time since ever, we are actually putting a footballing operation and a structure in place. And we are far, 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 far behind from City, Liverpool, and all them that already have this structure. We've seen that Arne Slot comes in and just takes over a ready-made Liverpool team and just makes a little bit final tweaks. And they're still playing like they used to do, because that is already been established by the sporting director, the technical director. So we are just starting. We are so far behind. So you got to look at it from a realistic perspective. Stu is agreeing with me. 3-5-2 would suit these players. I've been saying this for weeks. Me and you, same, Stu. We're singing from the same Spotify playlist. A 3-5-2 would suit us, definitely. We can play 3 in the back. 100% we could. We do have players that could play 3 in the back. Depends on when Lenny Euro comes back, because one thing that Lenny Euro does best, he's not that stepping up forward. He's more of that one that sits back and catches the ball, but he's got pace. De Ligt is very aggressive as well. So we can definitely play 3 in the back. But having 5 midfielders or wingbacks as well means that you're overflooding that midfield. There's no way you should pass. And then you play with 2 strikers. But in that 5 system, you still have wingbacks bombing forward and providing a protective shield in the midfield. Currently, what we're seeing here now is the wingers are cutting in, protecting defensive duties in the midfield. We have the left back cutting in, protecting us, being in the midfield, but that leaves us exposed. There's big gaps, 100% big gaps. So there's acres of space still. And that's why Manuel Ugarte was so key to play that single pivot role, but he's only played 1 game. Alfonso Davis, according to Kenny Fan TV, is rubbish in defending, another pace merchant. But maybe he's good at going forward. Maybe that is the way of thinking. We were linked to Frimpong. He was also crap in defending. He was more of a winger than a wingback. But going forward, that's what we need. We need goals. We suck at converting, creating under Ten Hag's system, current system. I've been very critical about this 4-2-3-1 system. That could work if you are possession-based football like Sebastian Hoeneß. He's mastering that. But the players don't seem to be thriving under this system. There's no creativity. There's no freedom to express yourself. You have to run within the square box. It's a press play. Press high on the pitch, but it's the way we are pressing that doesn't work. That leaves us exposed. So by tweaking a little bit, maybe a 4-3-3 or a 3-5-2 would get the best out of these players. But will Ten Hag do it? History shows itself that he can throw in the kitchen sink when it matters, but will he do it? It's either sink or swim now, because if you look at the Premier League now, there's very doable fixtures, 100%. Coming back from the international break, there is. Let's have a look at it, guys. So coming back here in October, we're looking at, of course, Brentford now this Saturday. Then we have Fenerbahce. Jose, hose me down, Jose, away in the Europa League. Then in the Premier League, we have West Ham away, which could be done. I mean, West Ham has been dog shit as well. So having this international 2 weeks break might be a saving grace. It's a reset button. And then in the Cup, we have Leicester twice. Actually, we have Leicester at home. And that is October for you, right? We're looking in November. Premier League, we have Chelsea at home. That's going to be a cracker, with Jadon Sancho returning back to the ground as well. And then in Europa League, we have PAOK at home, Leicester at home in the Premier League end. So we have double Leicester, and Ipswich away, Kieran McKenna, and finishing up November, Bodø Glimt. So definitely we should be able to maximize a win. If Sir Dave Brailsford is a cycling expert, he should get these players to get on the bike. Marginal improvements. But currently, 14th, the worst start in the Premier League. It is what it is. But I've been saying that the Premier League table right now is a false dawn, right? I know we played 7 games. We have 8 points on the tally, but there is 30 more games to play. I like to look at the Premier League table come March. That kind of give you the true story. But apparently 6 points behind Chelsea at the moment in the top 4. If we go on a run, Man United can be back on the top 4. But it is the inevitable. It's the sink or swim, you know. If Ten Hag continues on this bad patch of form and the players come Christmas, I don't see INEOS keeping him. And that is why they've been doing talks with a lot of managers. Or potentially it will be Ruud van Nistelrooy as an interim. But to do something right now, it's not called interim. If you would been replacing Ten Hag 7 games in, it would not be an interim, because that's too long to the end of the season. So I think that they had an assessment of it, said, well, let's stick to Ten Hag. If it goes tits up by Christmas, then we get an interim. There's been some talks about Zinedine Zidane. Zinedine Zidane, Zizou. Legend of a player. Legend of the player. What I might say here might be a little bit controversial. Why is Zinedine Zidane not being picked up by any other team? Question mark. Why doesn't he want to coach any other team that has already ready-made players? Question mark. You see, I've been thinking about it. At Real Madrid, 3 times Champions League winner, multiple La Liga wins. But if you look who he managed, it was a ready-made squad. There was Globetrotters, the world-class players. And of course, he's being a leader himself, like, ex-midfielder, a boss. All you need to do is be a little bit of authoritarian, and the rest will do the job. So he left Real Madrid, came back, and took a sabbatical again. So the question is Zizou the answer for any club? Or is Zizou the one that you bring in when you already have a ready-made squad? My answer is the latter, I would think. I don't think that Zidane would do well with the current squad in the Premier League that is kind of building, I think that Zidane could walk into Manchester City and just take over from Pep, and they will just do what they do best. Just a food for thought. I want to hear your opinions. Just go back into the comments. Ginger Besh is saying the club likes to hold on to the past too much. The club will never move forward. We will consistently compare with everyone else in the Fergie area. 100%. I mentioned that as well. Theo Hernandez would be my left back signing if money was not an object. Apparently, there is no money. And apparently, we didn't buy a left back in the summer, and that's what it is. What are you saying, Mr. Amir? Kobe Mainoo and Manuel Garte, the perfect midfield duo. Yes, but also better to mention Toby Collier. I think that when we saw Garte and Casemiro playing together in that midfield, it was stable. And when we actually have a Christian Eriksen as number 10, there was no gaps. That was perfect. So the question is, would you drop a Bruno Fernandes? Would you drop a Rashford? Can you do that? Do you have the cojones enough to play what everyone can see? That midfield, what you just mentioned, Kobe Mainoo, Manuel Garte, Christian Eriksen is number 10? Question mark. I don't know. Something needs to give. Bigfoot Dreams, the next sort of 10 games in all comps are doable. 100%. That's what I just said as well. But it's all down to mentality. It's all down to the mentality. As what Benny McCarthy was saying in his interview with Super Sports. He said everyone did super well in training. He didn't get it, like that it was perfectly fine in training. But come match days, everything was just a mental block. Everything went out the window. And nobody really knew what it was. Is it the disconnect between the manager and the player? Or is it that just they don't have the IQ? Are you just applying yourself to get picked for the match day? Apparently, if you train well, you do well, you get observed, a manager's catches the eye, the team selection catches the eye, and they say, perfect, you're doing exactly what we want to execute in the game, and we pick you, and then you fail us. So where's the problem there? Again, is the egg or the chicken or the egg? Who came first? The same. It doesn't really make sense. All I can think about is the disconnecting communication, right? That's what I can think of. The buck stops with the manager. The buck stops with the manager in a certain ways that as a manager, you need to stand on the touchline. If your players are not performing, your in-game management needs to be spot on. You need to give them shit, 100%. But instead, you're witnessing your team going 2-0 up to lose to 3-2 for you to come back to 3-3. That happened last season. That happened twice this season. So this is my critique to Ten Hag. I want him to succeed, but I can see the warning signs, the red flags, that he's stubborn enough that he will not do changes. If he can do this, if he can analyzing this, and if he can take critique from his assistant managers to say, you need to do this. But if you're not listening, how are you going to be better? Eric is 54, 56, apparently he's been managing for years. So you got to learn, but sometimes it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. In-game management been poor. We've seen the chaos, how he kind of learned from last season. He's petrified of the injuries and done weird substitution and saying rotation. Hang on a second. Before the international break, what was this for rotation about? We have an international break, for fuck's sake. 2 weeks players will be off. And you blame it on rotation. That didn't sit down well with me. And the Spurs game didn't sit down with me either. And that's where I became to wobble, to doubt. Right? I doubt, but I believe that this is doable. That is my answer. No excuses, what you're saying, Kenny Fan TV. 100% no excuses. Losing is not an option. No retreat, no surrender. Let us get this fighting spirit back into this team. Right? If the confidence is dropping within the players, you as a manager, as the supervisor, need to motivate them to get back into that mind frame of winning. It's the carrot and the stick, classical. It's like you going to work and you notice that the whole team morale is dropping and you're looking for your boss to help you, but your boss is doing nothing, right? Of course, everything is going to fall down. Origami, what you're saying here, my brother. Big up Mick and the VR room. Get Todibo Gomez on a free and buy back Fernandes from Benfica. Sign a strong CDM who is fast and can pass. Big up. Yeah, because apparently there was a UEFA clause that we couldn't sign Todibo back in the summer, but nothing to say that we cannot sign him in the January window. So Todibo might be back on the radar. We will see. Facts, what you're saying here. No excuses, 100%. What you're saying here, Stu, Eric is delusional, though. He thinks he's making progress. He's a clown. Well, that's why we have fan opinions and fan debates. You know, it is like the mad professor, like, you know, Frankenstein, right? Trust me, I've been covering this press conference, and sometimes you don't make any sense. Sometimes he stands up for himself and it's like, hey, what do you mean? Hey? But it's the post-match reactions where you notice the delusion and the deflection. Instead of putting your hand up and being honest to say, yeah, this was a shit performance, you start adding on like, oh, we had 51% ball possession. We created some good chances. But excuse me, ball possession and creating chances doesn't win you games. It's scoring that wins your game. It's defending that wins your game. And this you have to take in terms of analysis. I made a brilliant analysis with Jarvis last week to say, look, Jarvis owns a garage repair shop. If I am driving my Ferrari and I feel it's wobbling on the road, something is not balanced, I visit Jarvis's garage and he takes his diagnostic tools, stick it into the data box, gets a diagnostic, and it tells me, the data tells me exactly what's wrong with my Ferrari and what needs to be fixed. Jarvis charged me a little bit of a fee, say, listen, your front tires is a little bit unbalanced. You need to fix it, otherwise you will skid off the road. If you want to continue pedal to the metal, drive 300 per hour down in the Autobahn, you need to fix this, Mick. But what do Mick do? Delusional. Nah, I have my goal. I will reach there quicker than you think. I don't need to pay your money, and I'll continue driving. So screw the analysis, screw the diagnostics. And in football, in terms, that diagnostics is the player data, the video, right? This is what you should sit down to. Grab every single player by the scruff of the neck. Sit down here, Bruno. Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Take them out on the pitch. Practice, practice, practice until it's drilled down in the brain. But maybe that's what he used to do in the beginning. Maybe this job is consumed him too much. The pressure from the media, the fans. Maybe you start taking shortcuts and doubting yourself. And that's where confidence drops. Anyway, just a food for thought, people. Big up everyone. So anyway, just to summarize what's been reported today. Of course, Premier League is back. I can't be more than happier to escape this international break, because when it's international breaks, there's no stories, there's fabricated stories, there's winch, wash, repeat. But today, finally, we got some content out there that INEOS had decided to cut out Sir Alex Ferguson after 2023, receiving £2.16 million by being an ambassador. They're doing major overhaul in cost savings, and they're cutting down the legend. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions regarding this. We spoke about the early transfer news. We need a left back. Of course, there's been rumbling about Alvaro Fernandes. Will you take Alvaro Fernandes back? Would you buy him back for 16 million? Or would you go on the market and spend 40 million? Up to you. Let me know as well. But also some reports by Christian Falk saying that Man United are eyeballing 3 Bayern Munich players, which is Goretzka, Leroy, Sane, and Alphonso Davies. Guys, let me know in the comments section. Liverpool, what you're saying here, barely even spent £10 million on Chelsea or in Chiesa and still top of the league. It's madness. Yeah, but still, Klopp just left it in a good shape, right? They didn't have to spend. They are already made. So Slot just walks in, plays the same style of football, change a little bit, and that's about it. Well, we, on the other hand, have done a complete overhaul in terms of backroom staff, coaches, new operational leaders. We're just basically ground zero. So keep that in mind, peeps. We always try to keep a balanced approach. If you are Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out, I don't really care. I am Manchester United in, and I want us, and I pray to God, to get back into winning ways. Smash the like button, please. Do not forget, we are back in business. We've been taking a break. As it's never easy when the team is not doing well. Of course, mental health plays also a trick on my mind, and the opening of the season was very, very rough. But we can always see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's the hopium, the endopium, whatever you call it. And I believe that on Saturday we can turn the page against Thomas Frank. They will come up firing, presses high. We need to find a way to get out of the press and beat the press. Thank you, beautiful people, for watching. There has been over 500 of you tuning in. Please, in retrospective, give this video of over 100 likes, and I will love you back. It's been Mick Ruby from Mufc Realist TV. Having my little say, and as per usual, hopefully I made sense of you to make a better day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time. Go, go, Man United. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching Mufc Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.